So look, check this out. Finally, we got some damn good weather here in KC. It's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? It damn near feel like spring. It's been so cold and snowy and ice and rain out here in KC. We doing good things, you know what I mean? NFL weekend, you know what I mean? We got nothing but playoff games going on Sunday. The Chiefs is in it again, you know. That is, you know, it's common now, you know what I mean? Common knowledge. You're going to be one of the teams in the ASU Championship. But listen, we're going to have us a damn good episode. John in a good mood. I worked out this morning. You know, I got a member of the 0500 gang, you know what I mean, in the building with me, you know what I'm saying? You know, we do this gym shit. We go early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Right. Esai in the back doing what he do, you know what I'm saying, making sure John, you know what I'm saying, Michael look good, you know what I'm saying? Mark, y'all know if you a friend of the family, you know Mark does nothing behind the scenes. He really just... You know, I don't know. You know, one of these days we'll have to, you know, put Mark back on camera and let him tell us what the hell he be doing back there. Listen, we finna get ready to rock and roll. Mark, you ready? Esai, you ready? Michael, you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
All right, let's do this. Welcome back to the I-70 podcast. It is your boy, John Little, a.k.a. John. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, man. Tap into everything I got going on. 2025, it's my time. You know what I mean? I'm the people's champ. You know what I mean? Y'all know this is the world's most infamous podcast with, you know, the people's champ. You know what I mean? But I would be remiss not to, you know, highlight this gentleman to my immediate right. You understand what I'm saying? Because he epitomizes people's champ because he's about the people. Basically what he does, he shines the lights on individuals like myself. You understand what I'm saying? That's what, you know, he started his platform doing, and we'll tap into why he does what he does. You know what I mean? But just to give y'all, you know, some insight on who I got sitting next to me, he has his own podcast. Okay, KCBC 913. Make sure y'all go tap in. You know what I'm saying? Go tap in immediately. He also has his YouTube channel, KCBC TV. Separate. Make sure y'all go do that. You know what I'm saying? He also has his own coaching business, VAS LLC. All business owners, just tap in, man. Just see what he got going on. You know what I mean? You never know. I got none other than Southern California representative, Big Michael in the building. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm doing so good. I am so glad to be here,
my
man.
dog.
This is incredible.
And now look,
incredible.
I want to start the show off by doing this. I got to give you more flowers, bro, and tell you, bro, thank you, bro, from the bottom of my heart, bro, because I got to be honest, y'all, this individual, he's the one person who I'll say gives me the most support, bro, and insight and all of that. You know what I mean? We connected through social media because obviously we both in KC, we both in the podcast lane out here. This gentleman was the first person in KC to tell me that I'm one of the best podcasters in the city. That's a fact, Michael, bro. So I had to tell you that to start the interview. Bro, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, bro, because I was feeling a little weird. I wasn't getting the response that I thought I would get from KC. This gentleman hopped in my DM unprovoked and said, hey, man, you probably one of the best out of all us here in KC. So, Michael, I want to say thank you, bro.
Absolutely,
I appreciate that, bro.
It's an honor, man. And that's kind of like the name of my game is like, I think I posted the other day, no one's ever going to guess in my tribe how I felt about him before I die.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like it costs me nothing to actually, you know, send a compliment. And my wife and I, you know, she just started her own podcast.
Hey,
we've actually we've had nights where we sat on the couch and we've watched your podcast on TV, on YouTube. And I told her like a month ago when we got this set up, I was like, I'm going to go on that podcast. Can you believe that? And she's like, she's just smiling ear to ear because you and I are a lot alike in a lot of different ways and how enthusiastic we are about, you know, who we're enthusiastic about. So, yeah, man, I made it, man. I'm on I-70.
Yeah, man. Now, look, and we finna get y'all banger. Me and my dog, we've been talking all week, you know what I'm saying, doing follow-ups. Well, both of us excited. Now, look, let's get right into it, bro.
Let's go.
Okay, Southern California, Riverside County.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
so just take us back. That's the origin. Just take us back to growing up, Riverside County.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in California. I came to Kansas about 10 years ago. We actually just hit our 10-year anniversary. I was born and raised there and grew up learning how to play guitar, and that's kind of where I got into bands.
Yes, sir.
And that Southern California metal and hardcore music scene is pretty fertile. A lot of, you know, signed, globally known bands came out of that. I was in a band called Cyanide Beach, not Cyanide like the rap Poison Beach. And we were fortunate to get signed. We got to tour the U.S. a few times. We went around the world. We got to play in Puerto Rico. We did a couple of full lengths. And that was kind of, you know, what gave me all of my people skills. You know, I've looked back on, I didn't go to college. I went to college later, like when I was in my 30s.
Okay.
But like, I didn't go to college, didn't do these things. But it's like I toured the world. I lived in a van with 5 other stinky dudes. Played in front of crowds, numbering from a couple hundred to, a few thousand.
Yes, sir.
At festivals and things like that. I also met Stephanie, who's my wife. She was my high school sweetheart. We just celebrated 20 years of marriage last
and see,
month,
now this
dude.
with a hand clap. That Mark, there you go, boy. See, you already, Mark do something. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry, bro. My bad, Mark. I apologize.
So, but man, California, I tell people it's a great place to visit.
Yes,
it's
sir.
a rough place to live.
Yes, sir.
And, as we got older, we were picking out, if we want to have the lifestyle that we want to have, we probably got to live in LA or work in LA or work in San Diego. And then we love the Inland Empire. That's where Riverside County is. That's San Bernardino and then Riverside. And then basically, that goes all the way to the Arizona border. And then I worked for Riverside County for a bit,
Yes,
so
sir.
you get an insight into local government, economics. If at the time we were going through infertility, we didn't know if we were going to have kids, but when we have kids, where are they going to go to school?
Yes, sir.
And my wife and I, we were raised in a pretty rough area. And
We're going to get into that.
Okay. And
Please.
so we wanted to do better, and I was talking about it on To Bring About, but it was I always had good people.
Shout out my
around
dog,
me.
Gabriel.
Dude, he's one of the best.
That's my dog, bro.
You guys are my top 2.
That's
basically.
my dog. To Bring About podcast, my dog.
Yes,
Shout out my
sir.
dog, Gabriel.
Yeah. We always had good people around us. I had I think it was my 5th grade teacher. She's like, I think you should be in honor society when you get into middle school or high school, whatever it was. And, I just had people that believed in me, man, and so, but that's where I got a lot of my, my street smarts,
Yes, sir.
The ability to communicate, being on the road. People don't want to pay you, trying to figure out a diplomatic way. And saying, how much money does your mom have in her bank account?
Yeah.
Or, hey, that bass drum, why don't you give us that bass drum? We could sell that or whatever. But you learn how to live and survive and all that. And, going back to California, we lived there until 10 years ago. And we just we had some friends who relocated out here. They came and had us stay with them. And I hadn't been to KC since we played. We played at the El Torreon in 2005.
Okay, right.
And actually, the pictures that are on Spotify of us, that was taken outside of the El Torreon, 31st and Truce. And so that's the other thing is how wild God is. He's
Yes, sir.
I'm going to bring you back to where
full circle.
the last city you were in. And we had some friends that let us stay here.
Yeah.
And sold our house in 4 days in California. And then we were out here, man. And it's been amazing ever since.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Y'all know John like to get the origin. You know what I'm saying? I got to, because on Bring About, you was discussing, how you grew up. And I always appreciate that, bro, because I've always said poverty is poverty. No matter what color you are, poverty is synonymous with crime. And you grew up seeing that. Yeah. So that's why I always, and I'm not doing it to glorify, I just like to make it a point that when you grow up poor, you poor, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with color. You know what I mean? You come up how I come up. You saw violence, you saw murder, you saw, crime and police chases and all that type of shit.
Utilities trying to shut the gas, shut the electricity, shut the water off. Literally.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. In the ghetto, when they come and shut your shit off, I ain't gonna get nobody in trouble because statute of limitations is gone. But a bunch of times you'll have that worker. He may, cut your shit off, but then he'll leave a little wrench on the side. Look, all you gotta do is turn that little knob. I can't do it, but go and turn that knob, you straight. Or you could be like John, being good with all the crackheads, and they wire your shit up for you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, but Mark, that's what I'm saying, brother. People don't utilize the resources in the hood. You know what I'm saying? The crackheads are resourceful people. Y'all know, listen, if you're a fan of the show, y'all know Boo Bop was my favorite crackhead in the hood. Okay? She would always alert me when something was finna go on. We was finna go up the block to start some bullshit. Boo Bop would come grab me. Y'all know Boo Bop had a crush on me, bro. Which is kind of weird having a crackhead woman have a crush on you. You know what I'm saying? Because good woman, but yeah, anyway. Boo Bop would come grab my hand baby, don't go up the street. Them boys up the street, they finna do that. And I go the other way. What you got, Esai, bro?
Did you ever?
No, I did not. But it was a thing, bro. I did not. Me personally, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? But it was a thing. But Esai, bro, you know the stories, bro. I wasn't good at selling crack. You know what I'm saying? So the ones who those were the ones who got those favors. I was trash at it, bro. I had a big heart, bro. I couldn't do it, bro. It's okay. You know what I mean? Anyway, how the hell I get on that, bro? See, Esai, chill out, bro.
The hood will do that, man.
Yeah, it'll do that. Okay, now look.
Those memories out.
One thing I do want to discuss, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of basically what launched you into doing what you're doing now, right? And furthermore, I believe your testimony will help other men gauge where they at or, get out of the, hole that they in, but you ended up losing your job.
Yep.
And you are the provider of your household.
Yes, sir.
So just, and like you said, it rocked your world, rocked you to the core, so y'all losing money, the family. Yep. You got your girls and your wife staring at you like, hey, what we finna do? Yep. Just speak to that moment and how all that came about and what you did to get out of it.
Man, thank you for asking me about that. Yeah, one of the craziest days of my life. So long story short, I was a top performer. I was about to get a new role. They were going to create a new team, all this stuff. I'm not going to name the employer.
Yes, sir.
Everybody can look them up. Nothing's a secret out there, right?
Right.
But I tell everybody because the company shut down 6 months after I was let go. And I was, when they do a reduction in force, they show you, not the names, but the ages and the position titles of all the other people let go with you. And I was just like, dang, just connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Deductive reasoning going in like, they let them go. Dang, man, this was a big deal.
Yeah.
But since it shut down 6 months later, I tell everybody, God gave me a 6-month head start, on the inevitable. But yeah, let go. It was a Friday morning. I remember it like it was yesterday. My wife was taking the girls out. And she stood and just in shock, kind of heard as, my director let me go. It was awful, man. But basically from there, I felt sorry for myself for about 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Closed the computer, went right upstairs, opened up my regular laptop, did the LinkedIn announcement, started talking to everybody. It's like, all right, I have to move. I have to go. I didn't build all these connections for nothing.
Yes, sir.
I know my worth, even though I was in that moment, I was really struggling with it. Started calling people, and basically while I was trying to get a job, like a 9-to-5, I was like, I'm going to take all my skills and I'm going to create a business out of it.
Yes, sir.
And because I was, having these conversations with business owners, I was like, man, I should be recording these conversations. And then that's how Kansas City Business Cast became what it was then and then what it is now. And I know we'll talk about that genesis too. But man, I just for anybody who gets let go, it's not you, it's them for
That's
sure.
right.
No matter what happened, it's up to you at this point. And I think a lot of men, we are very proud of being the breadwinner.
Yes, sir.
And it's hard to admit when we can't provide for our family. They gave me 2 weeks. 2 weeks of pay, and I knew other people getting laid off after COVID and all that stuff. They got like a two-year severance, blah, 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 all this. It was 2 weeks, man.
2 weeks.
And, we were in debt snowball mode. We were in paying off the bills mode and all that. And, man, it just, but there's very few things like that in life. They say the top 5 stressors, there's like death, marriage, birth of a new baby, new job, losing a job. And there's a reason why that's hard, and I would say especially for men. Yeah. Because we pride ourselves. What's the second question after everybody asks your name when you meet them?
What do you do? Yes, sir.
What do you do? And what does that mean? It's what do you do for a living?
Yes, sir.
And so, there's a point too. I'll talk about like where I was like I got really righteously indignant about starting the podcast. It was around a bunch of successful people, and I owned what my stature was at that moment.
And then the advice you would give to a gentleman out there who has a family going through what you went through, your advice would be to just get right after it. Don't sit and wait a week, a month, and let that creep in. Go get it right there and there.
Perfectly paraphrased, brother. Like just get after it.
Yeah.
And when you have your moments where you need to talk to other men about it, just be real because they can't help you unless you let them in. And that was the other thing. Like, as I had to admit, like, I'm probably going to lose my house. Yeah. I'm probably going to have to sell a car. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to, I had to give up, jujitsu. I had to give up everything down to like the Netflix subscription. Yeah. Like, and having that all out in the open, people can't help you unless you open up. So, that's up to every man to do in the way that he feels. But the other thing that helped me was, my brothers at the fireside at church, and just having people in a network already, to help me and lift me up when I was down. Yeah.
That's right. And I wanted you to get that testimony because, like you said, that's a real thing. Like, there's a lot of men out there. We are very prideful. We don't want to ask for help, especially men who have a family. You know what I mean? Because you feel like, hey, this is me. I should be the one, taking care of this. So let me spin off of that and ask you, what does being a father and a husband mean to you?
Oh man, it's the hardest and best job I've ever had. Yeah. I mean, being a husband first and foremost. I mean, Yeah, we've got to die to ourselves for our wives. We got to give up our lives for our wives, like Christ gave up his for the church.
Yes, sir.
And what that means truly, right? And that means it's meant a lot of things over the years, but just basically doing the right thing for the family. It's not about me anymore. It's about me and my wife's relationship. And I also think too, I mean, we can all probably think back to what it was like growing up, and I've heard people talk fondly of their parents. I've heard people not want to talk about their parents at all. And I've heard people disparage their parents' name because maybe they weren't the best example, but whatever it was, I think we all want to create a better life for, our spouse. And if we get to have kids or we got to adopt kids, we'll talk a little bit about that maybe, then creating a good example for them too.
Yeah.
But being a husband, man, it's truly just trying to make myself better every day. And when things get tense, just knowing when to walk away, when to have the conversation, knowing that my wife is not my enemy.
Oh, go on, Michael, talk about it now.
When we get really riled up about things in life and we have our spouse and my wife, she's a marriage and family therapist too. So she's very, very purposeful about not using those talents and those skills on me either. She's not psychoanalyzing me and stuff or walking me through a counseling session, and she can't be that for me either. She needs to be able to be my wife, right?
Yes, sir.
But when you're going through arguments or stages where you have to make a decision together, and like for her and I, we've been together since we were 17. We basically grew up together.
Yes, sir.
We grew up together, and there's challenges in that. There's a lot of beauty in that, but then there's also challenges in that because we had to figure out who we were while also figuring out who we were, together.
Right.
And so, all that to say, we've been in marriage counseling, maybe in and out 3 or 4 times, and she's a counselor, dude.
Yeah.
But she needs help too, right?
Sir.
I've been in counseling 1-to-1. I've got a group of guys, my band of brothers that I know I can confide in and talk to about challenges in marriage, and there's that iron sharpening iron effect that happens. But, definitely not a succinct answer to being a husband.
Oh, no, but that was beautiful. That was beautiful just because you gave your, the real answer. You know what I mean? Your real answer. Because at the end of the day, men, we can agree, but it's all subjective. We all going to go about it our own way. But like you said, you gave basically a blueprint of, hey, this is how I handle it. And people can take pieces from what they don't have to do identically like you, but they can take pieces from what you said. Like, I'm going to implement that into what I got going on. Esai, let me ask you this, bro. You over there taking pictures and shit. You got a family, brother. What does being a family man mean to you, brother?
I think he hit it right on the head. And to be honest with you, I'm happy that I haven't left yet because I needed to hear that because that's something that you feel it, but it's hard to put into words.
Yes, sir.
And so you said it straight, said it perfectly almost.
Thank you, brother.
Man, that's what the hell I do over here at I-70 Podcast. Goddamn me, giving testimonies out here. Mark, me and you are both single. We're whores. We can't, agree with what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Listen, because me and Mark ain't finna just sit here with nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? What the hell? Hey, Mark, they just try to leave us out, bro. You know what I mean? We supposed to just sit here just, the wife, the kids. It's not us. You know what I'm saying? Me and Mark out in these streets. What you got, Mark?
We both ready to step up. If we look, John, you ready to step up?
I'm ready, baby. Look, Mark, when the time comes, baby, we gonna step up. But it ain't that time. You know what I'm saying? Because both they look. Here's the thing. Both of them are lucky. Both of them met their wives in high school. They grew up with them. We ain't like y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Me and Mark, we took the Horace route. You know what I mean? Look at us now, Mark. I'm 30 with no goddamn family. I'm just going out just sad out here, y'all. Mark, you finna be like me in a minute, bro. You ain't too far behind, bro.
I got 4 years.
That 4 finna fly, bro. That 26 fly, bro. Okay, don't worry about it. I can't wait to call y'all old. I remember all the shit y'all said about me, bro. Okay.
Can I say something too about father? Just real quick.
Go ahead. Don't make it quick. Go ahead. Do your thing.
All right. So I didn't know if I was going to get to be a father.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And that's the other thing about my wife and I's story is, the miscarriage club, 50% of pregnancies, man, they don't make it.
Oh, I did not know that.
Okay. And so when you get together and you're young, like us, we had to watch all our friends have kids.
Yes, sir.
As we got older and older and older. And I remember when my heart finally broke. I say my heart finally broke for what broke God's heart. I was like, I'm ready to adopt.
Okay.
I am ready to, put our house out there. Like, I know you're a Braveheart fan.
You damn right.
I got the Scottish Claymore,
Yeah.
Braveheart sword on the wall. I got Andoril, Lord of the Rings. That all ties into adoption because when they came to my house in California, they said, you got to put a lock on that door. You got to put a fire extinguisher by the garage door. They asked me, at the time I drank beer. I've been, I'll be 8 years sober from alcohol this May.
Shit.
But at the time I had to tell them how many beers you drinking. You got a history of mental illness. You got, what's your jobs like? What's your credit like? You go through this whole process, man, to get certified to adopt. And, man, we had the room in the house. We threw a shower for a baby that we didn't know if we'd get or not. And we waited 2 years in certification. We got 18 calls. Calls would go something like this. Be like, hey, baby was just born. Mom is in no position to take care of the baby. Would you be willing to have the baby stay with you until they figure out if they're going to reunify or terminate rights or whatever? And we'd say yes. And we wait up until 2 a.m. waiting for the social worker to come. They'd never come. So we said yes to probably about half those calls because when you say yes, you're like, all right, everything else gets put on hold.
Right.
And so anyway, man, after 2 years of that, we were like, I don't know. And then when we moved to Kansas, we were going to start recertifying in Kansas. And then that's when we got pregnant, my 7-year-old who's now with us. And then I got a 5-year-old daughter as well. I'm a girl dad, which feeds into a lot of stuff. But
that motherfucker is too.
Yeah, buddy. It's a special calling. And so anyway, I didn't even know if I was going to be a dad. So now that I'm a dad, like I have this gratitude. I'm not always like in this shining light of gratitude.
Yeah.
Like, like right now they've been sick for like 2 weeks and it's
the baby's sick, y'all. Lord Jesus,
man. But anyway, being a dad is just basically putting myself on the line every day for them, man. So,
And I'm glad before you did, because I know you think you're ready to leave. I got one more question for you to answer. Y'all both girl dads, okay? It definitely, I would assume, obviously, having girls, it puts a lot of things into perspective. Because, we grew up, we was all young men at one point. We know how everything went. We know how we were, how our friends were, this, that, and the third. Having girls, because of how we grew up, does it change let me put it this way. Because you are a girl dad, are you conscious of how you're viewed by them? Because of the man you want them to grow up and be with in the future.
Yep, absolutely. So things for my girls, they get to learn how to fight and dance.
That's right.
They get to learn how to shoot guns and do their hair nice. My wife, Stephanie, she's with the same thing. Like she's on the same level. The way I treat them, that's going to set the standard for the man that they seek one day. And they just kind of get it all, man. Like I'm teaching my 5-year-old about electronics and engineering right now. She's been showing, she's into all that STEM stuff.
Yes.
And so really it's just about equipping them for this world, man. And,
that's right.
I think God gave women and men different strengths. And I see all of his beauty in my daughters. My whole thing is like, it's my job to prepare them for the world because the world is a very unforgiving parent, right?
Sure.
If I don't parent my kids, then the world's going to do it. Like, you've met these people, right? Maybe you've worked with them or whatever. Like they can't get to work on time or they can't figure stuff out or they can't keep their appearance professional or whatever. How does the world treat those people? It's very unforgiving, bro. It's a write-up. It's losing your job or opportunities aren't given to you or whatever. And, man, so it's really... I know like the time will come when I'm going to be friends with my daughters.
Yeah.
But that time is not now necessarily.
Yeah.
I need to be tender with them. I need to be gracious, but I'm preparing them for the world.
That's right. Now, Esai, before you dip off, bro, you are a girl dad as well, bro. Just give I'm gonna switch it with you. Give a gentleman advice. He's about to have a child or he just had a girl. What advice could you give to that gentleman about being a girl dad?
I feel like as a father, you have to have a certain amount of affection with your daughter.
Yeah.
That I see a lot of men that they don't, or like I know fathers now that their kids are grown and all that, and they were never really like affectionate and like hugging on them or kissing on them or anything.
Yeah.
And it definitely affects the daughter later on, you know?
Yeah.
So I would just say, like, don't be afraid to, you know, love on your daughters too, you know?
Yeah.
They're looking up to you, like you said, to pretty much mirror what they want in their future.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing.
For sure. And then look, I want to say,
glad you didn't leave because I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And then look, and let me give advice to some people who need to hear what I got to say. Shout out to all the women with father issues, okay? The women that Esai's talking about. Shout out to all the fathers who did not kiss their daughters and whatnot, because those are the type of women I'm dealing with in my life. You know what I mean? And it's okay. You know what I mean? Listen, baby, we going to work through it together. I know Pops didn't hug on you and kiss on you, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying, Mark? I'm going to work on that with them. You know what I mean? For those women with them type of issues, it is okay. This is a safe place for you. We are going to, what's the new trend? We're going to discuss and not judge, baby. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the women with daddy issues. Now, okay, now let's get back to this, Michael. Look, so let me ask you this question, bro. Why do you do what you do? You know what I mean? Because you don't have to be who you are. And like I said, when I gave you your flowers earlier, it's not just me that Michael do this with. You know what I mean? It's no way I'm the only one who he's giving flowers to and encouragement, because he's a peer of mine. And you see, if you talk to people who've talked to him, we all say the same thing about him. So has that always been Michael, or is this something new? But in essence, why do you do what you do?
Man, that is a good question. You know, I had to do a lot of discovery in that time when I got laid off.
Yes,
and when
sir.
I built my company, and then the podcast being kind of a offshoot of it.
Yeah.
It really comes down to, I guess, my why in a nutshell is because I want people to know, the business owners, the nonprofit leaders, the influencers, the podcasters, the artists, the musicians, that they can actually do life with. And when I say do life with, it's like your kids go to the same school their kids go to.
Yes, sir.
You come up to the shop to smoke a cigar with them. You're going to see them in public.
Yep.
They run, like, maybe it's your chiropractor or whatever, but like, I want people to know that we do not need to sort of elevate and keep the celebrities and the New York Times bestsellers and all those people on a pedestal.
Yes.
I've said it before. I've read their books. I know you've talked about Jocko and some of these David Goggins and all these people. It's like, yeah, those guys give me a lot of gasoline for my fire. But you know what? When I start talking about this, I was telling Gabriel this. It's like, you know, you guys are becoming my heroes now. You guys are my brothers and my sisters who will help me get better. And we can actually do this. We can do life together, because at the end of our lives, we're going to remember the people that were around us, right?
That's right.
That's probably the why. And then the how and the sort of the core values, or I call them my immutable laws. That's this principle that, you know, when you define your core values, which is who you are on the inside, it's not aspirational.
Yep.
Because, like, if you value relationships, but your relationships suck, it's like, is that really a core value of yours? It's got to be discovered. So when I started going through this, man, I was like, man, I love learning. I love leadership. I love strength, and I love improvement.
Yeah.
I added some adjectives on those, and I made them my immutable laws. And this is where, like, when you listen to Kansas City Business Cast, all of our guests have at least one or two of these, if not all four, going on at once. But it's experiential learning. They love learning by doing.
Yes,
they
sir.
don't just talk about it. They don't just fantasize about it, but they actually get out there and they fail a bit and they learn. The other one is divergent leadership. So it's not just leadership, but it's like, we're going to lead differently. Like, if we see somebody go in the opposite direction of traffic, maybe they know something that we don't. Maybe they're trying to crack a code that we haven't figured out yet, but we're going to lead. That also means, like, when, you know, that quote, what everything that's popular is wrong. Sometimes we just can't go with the flow because people might be wrong. Then there's continuous improvement, because I love improvement, but I know it's 1% better every day, right?
For sure.
And so I'm always in a state of improvement. And I did that with my physical health, mental health, all that. And then that last one is tribal strength, because you can be really strong on your own, but, like, if you can't get along well with other people, you're not going to have much. So it's about having that tribe. And, you know, coincidentally, if you express those laws, you're going to find the people who value the same thing. And then it's not such a rub to have those conversations. Or like with VAS, my clients, like the people I found, they should be like, where the hell have you been my whole life?
Right.
You know?
Yes, sir.
Because you're going to attract the right people. And so, yeah, man, but that's a little bit of the why I do it.
Yeah.
And because, man, you know, we just got our first paid sponsorship too, man. So it's like, it's a sign.
Yeah.
You know, and I prayed for that.
Yes,
and,
sir.
We're finding a way to figure some things out, man.
Yeah.
So.
And I had to ask that, bro, because like I said, Michael, you're such a genuine dude, bro. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? It's just dope to see y'all. Like I say, bro, I couldn't wait to get my dog in here to sit down because, he didn't know I was going to thank him. You know what I mean? But I knew I was going to kick the show off with that, bro, because what this gentleman is doing, and it's phenomenal, bro, because he brought it up. You know, we all have our favorite podcasts with celebrities, right? But I'm going to be honest with y'all. A lot of local podcasts or smaller platforms are better than some of these big podcasts that we love and got all the, you know, admiration and, you know, they popular, got 1 million subscribers. But they're celebrities. They lane is different than ours because they can get the bigger guest. They can get, you know, the number of subscribers. But man, please go check out the local podcast in your city. It's so much knowledge that's been given off, man. And I watch almost every podcast. Mark and Esai tell you, I'm up on game on every podcast in KC. If I come across a podcast I didn't know about, I immediately go, oh, hold on, let me check on that. I didn't know about this. Because it's a community. And I just love the community that's being built here in KC. You know what I'm saying? With individuals like myself, Michael, and Gabriel, and others. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody on the NSPN, you know, umbrella, and all the other podcasts in KC. Yep. It's something beautiful going on, and I just hope we all, you know, come together because, relatively speaking, we all need each other. None of us are famous. You know what I mean? We all relatively got damn near the same amount of subscribers. We probably like 100 off, 200 off, something like that. It's all the same, man. So we all need each other. Now, I want to spin that into the KC podcast community. Yeah. What are your thoughts on what's going on? Because if you're not up on game, y'all don't know that it's some shit brewing here in KC in regards to podcasting. It's a lot of podcasts that are picking up steam, staying consistent. What are your thoughts on the KC podcast community?
Yeah, so to start kind of from the beginning when I was researching for this show, because I was like, is this going to be anything new or am I going to be like the 5th or 6th person who's doing this, right? Yeah. And so my research at that time, we're talking summer 2023, there were other podcasts in Kansas City. Yeah. A lot of them were, it was mostly realtors. We had some history podcasts. We had some sports podcasts. Anything that was about business or marketing was probably just a little bit old. No disrespect to them, but like I noticed, because you guys, I know you guys do this too within NSPN. You probably research and you look up the podcast. You go, when was the last episode?
For sure, that's exactly what I do.
When was the last post?
Yep.
When you know, are they being consistent?
Yes.
Is this something? If I start this, whose feathers am I going to ruffle? Right. And all this stuff, all with the balance of like, nobody can do what I do. Yeah. Nobody can do what you do and how you do it and all this stuff. And we all have to. We'll talk about that a bit.
Oh, well, that's next. Goddamn. It's in my notes, baby.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. But you know, with Kansas City podcasts, like what I have been so amazed by, and I think I found I-70 because I had Cam F. Awesome on my show, and then he had somehow shared, or like, you know how the phones are listening to us.
Yeah,
the algorithm
for sure.
comes up. Boom. Next thing you know, it's you and him talking, and he was talking about getting bullied or something like that. You know. And I was like, what's I-70? What is this? Who's John Little? John. Who is this? Right? And then like I posted Sharon Thompson from Porterhouse and Black Trip Coffee, his thing, and then We're the Weird Ones. They found me.
Yep.
And then
I follow them too.
I was like, how? And I'm still discovering Kansas City podcasts. For sure. And I'm like watching everybody. And you know, we've talked about this too. Like, we might have some of the same people on our shows, but we're always going to bring something different. In fact, I go, challenge accepted. Yes, you know, I got somebody I'm talking to about on season 5. My question for this individual is, what are we going to talk about on my show that you haven't talked about on the last 10 podcast episodes you've been on? You know, so like we're trying to figure that stuff out. But dude, it is literally a movement. I think like we have all realized, and a lot of this comes from the fallout of the media, which I call the most effective devil in America. It's an acronym for, you know, brainwashing and thought control and all this and sound bites. And when we do these long form conversations, we actually get to know people and we get to really unpack things. So about the Kansas City podcast community, I mean, I noticed it took me a minute to connect the dots with Strawberry Hill podcast and I-70, and I'm like, then I find NSPN, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. It's literally a podcast network, you know? And like you said, like these local podcasts, some of them blow the big ones out of the water. And I mean, I watch Mike with Strawberry Hill podcast. I watch your podcast. You guys have done a couple of mashups where you have, is it Strawberry Hill Mafia?
Yeah.
See, and that's the funny thing too, is like, I'll bring stuff up that happened like 2 years ago and you're like, wait a minute.
You see, I had to pause a little bit.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that. Oh yeah, we were all wearing the shirts, but it's like, cause I'm like obsessed with all of us, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, man, we're creating something. It's a community of people who are just having real conversations. We all bring a different element, but I think it's a really exciting thing. And that's another part too of Kansas City Business Cast that I tell people. It's like, you don't have to live in Kansas City to listen to this.
No.
I got people on the coast from California who I grew up with. They listen to the show. You know how you can like look up your demographics and you can see where the listeners are. We have some people overseas. I think mostly those are the people that contact us every week asking us if we want help with our social media and why our tags are shit. And like what we're missing and why our views are down and all that. But you know, this can happen in your city too.
Yes, for sure.
Let's talk globally. It can happen. You can have a community of people who just are consistent and want to do it, you know?
And then, and I want to say shout out to all the podcasters who are, you know, receptive to that. Basically what Mike was saying, you know what I mean? Is because I thank God that I, you know, went on to bring about it. I got this gentleman sitting next to me, and I make it my business, Michael, to either have every podcaster sitting on this couch or be on their show. You know what I'm saying? I almost got it, y'all. I almost got it to where almost every podcast in the city then came and sat on this couch because I see the importance in it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to say this. I do this, one of the reasons why I love podcasting, for the conversations for sure, because I get to sit down with people that this is my first time meeting this gentleman, you know, in person. And when you sit down with somebody, bro, and have a conversation, I truly believe this, Michael. We could move mountains in this world, in this country, through conversation, bro. Just a sit down, man, because all the division shit, I'm not for. And I just want people, it bothers me.
That's not real life.
Thank you. Go ahead, break that down. Go ahead, expound on that for me, please.
That's the thing about it. Like, I've had fires on my driveway during election periods where I was painfully aware this side of the fire is on this end of the spectrum and that side is on that one. And how's this going to go down? You know? And I used to tell, one of my neighbors asked me one time, he knew that I agreed with him on a particular political statute or something that was going on, and asked me if I wanted to sign for my yard. And I said, no, man. And it's not because I'm not going to vote for it or whatever. Right. But my driveway is a DMZ. It's a demilitarized zone. I want people to know when they show up on my driveway, they get to come as they are. We get to talk about things as they want. They might know my religious and political beliefs and all that stuff, but I want them to know that my relationship with them is bigger than that.
Yes, sir.
And that's real life. That's what I was saying, is that the division stuff, it's like we realize when we talk to each other, it's like, oh my gosh, we're all more similar than we are different.
Facts, bro.
I go to the same store you do, I get the same almond milk you do, and at the end of the night, I want my house to be safe just like yours does. I want my cars to run. I want my economy to thrive. I want all the businesses to win in my area. What is the problem here? That's all I meant, man.
And you broke that, man. You broke that down beautifully, like, because that's how I feel on a daily. Like, we all adults. We all paying bills, and like we all do the same shit. But then you have these little things like your political views or whatever that'll make you go, oh, yeah, I don't like him. What you mean? You just like me. You know what I mean? We like you said, we go to the same store. Like, I saw you in aisle 3. You know what I mean? So
I let you get in front of me in line.
You know what I mean? I let you go. I said, go ahead. You got it. You know
I bought you coffee at Starbucks.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. Like, and man, Michael, you broke that down just wonderfully, bro. Like, and
thank you.
Because at the end of the day, man, that's through conversation. And I think the masses, if you will, understand, or the people keeping us divided understand, okay, the worst thing that can happen is for you and you to sit down, just y'all. Because there's no way you're not going to figure out that y'all like just alike.
Yep.
Then what we going to do? When we figure out we just alike, then somebody say, but who do you identify with? Like, what party you identify with? Now, that's all that did was drive a wedge in between what me and you had going on. Because unfortunately, you have individuals, if you are, because y'all know me, I don't give a damn about either or. if you vote a certain way, no matter who you are, what you do, that person wants nothing to do with you. And I just think that's BS. And I'm talking about both sides. Man, let me tell you something. I grew up in a Democrat household. You think I give a damn about if you're a Republican? I personally don't give a damn because it makes me never mind, brother. How you doing? How you grow up? What sports you like? What hobbies you like? Fuck all that political party shit like that. Once again, y'all know I had to tap into that because y'all know I personally hate politics because of the division factor. But we'll leave that alone. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about, bro, you big on fitness.
Yeah.
Okay. If y'all follow my dog on his Instagram, he's the 0500 gang. He in the gym consistently.
Yep.
Did that come during your transformation? Like when did fitness become? Because you talk about the body being a temple. When did all of that? Oh, yeah, y'all know John does research. Listen,
dude, you are surgical, my man.
Listen,
you are surgical.
When did fitness become a big deal for Michael?
Man. Well, I was. It was kind of like when before my daughter was born.
Okay.
I was basically almost 300 pounds of chewed bubble gum. That's
yes.
a Full Metal Jacket reference.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, I do not want to be that fat dad at the park, having my kid run circles around me.
Talk about it, Mike.
Tie my shoes. At the time, my doctor said I was pre-diabetic. Mm-hmm. I had hypertension. My blood pressure could have got me hospitalized. I was, I think, 295. Probably almost 40% body fat.
Yeah.
When you think about it, I go, man, 40% of me was fat. You know?
That is crazy to think about, though.
It is.
That's crazy to think about.
And I know, like, for a lot of people, they might, like when I said recently on my reel, life being fit is so much better than life being fat. Mm-hmm. I know that can be triggering or sound like fat shaming or whatever, but I have lived morbidly obese on 2 separate occasions of my life. I was morbidly obese, then I got in really good shape, then I just relapsed and went right back towards it. But it was before my daughter was born, and I was like, man, what kind of dad am I going to be? And then also too, I think when men get into martial arts, you realize
yes.
how tough you are.
Yes. Yes.
You aren't. Sorry. You realize how tough you aren't. You get your ass kicked a couple times. Uh-huh. And it's like everybody thinks they're going to level up in life when the time comes, but it's like you're always going to fall to the level of your training or your fitness, right? And so it started, I think, with alcohol, right? When I was like, I'm going to quit drinking. And then it was like with my physical fitness because I didn't want to be on blood pressure medicine. I remember I was at a fire and I heard a guy sharing that he had got some debilitating liver disease from being on one of these prescriptions, and it was the same one I was on at the time, and I was 2 months in. And that's the thing about like pills is like to measure, to reduce one metric, which is an important metric in your body, blood pressure, puts stress on all your organs, everything. You're going to take this one pill to lower that metric, but it's going to tax your kidneys, your liver. You got to drink a ton of water. All this. So I wanted to go more natural. And it came down to, for the hunters out there, there's game trails. Mm-hmm. That's where the rabbits and the quail and whatever, where they go. We all have game trails in our life. Okay.
I like that.
The route to work, there's a McDonald's on the way there every day. 2 Egg McMuffin sandwiches, right? Whether they got roof tar ingredients in them or not, I don't know. But I was like, that has to change. My route to work changed. It's like there's this principle of like it's better to act your way into a new way of thinking versus thinking your way into a new way of acting. That's that experiential learning. So I was like, I'm going to start acting in a manner that is more consistent with the man I want to be, and kill my clone, so to say.
Like that.
And so, man, I started just kind of attacking it, and really with my lean process improvement, it was like, where's all the waste in my life? Okay, sitting on ass, that's waste. Eating ice cream every day, that's waste. When I drinking 6 bottles of beer a day, that's waste.
Yes.
Having conversations that are negative or don't lift each other up, right? That like I started inventorying it because that body is a temple thing. It's like, man, your brain is in your body.
Yes.
Your soul's in your body. Everything, what the eyes are seeing, what the mind is thinking, what the words you speak, it's all a temple. And so, man, it started with alcohol, and it was like, what else can I change? What else can I drop? And so then once I got fit, I was in better shape than when I was 18 years old, playing football, doing track, whatever it was. Yeah. And so, man, and business owners, because happenstance on Kansas City Business Cast, I've interviewed so many bodybuilders and people who own gyms.
Yes.
And I feel like that was God's signal of like, Yeah, man, it's time to get serious about fitness again. And then that's why we started doing the little KCFC or Kansas City Fitness Cast episodes where we talk to people. Because really, like, if you're going to run a business or you're going to do a podcast, you got to be healthy.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
If you want longevity, you know?
And I'm glad you gave, once again, one thing I love to do on I7 is get my guests to give testimony. Because through testimony, somebody, like Esai was saying, somebody out there needed to hear what Mike was saying. There's somebody out here who, because Mike was speaking from experience of being basically 300 pounds. There's a 300-pound person out there who just wants some type of kickstart, and they don't know how to do it. So if you could give that person, man or woman, who wants to, you know, lose those pounds, as y'all can see, it's possible. What advice would you give? Just a little nugget, you know what I mean? Or it could be long-winded. What advice could you give that person that wants a better body? Because like you said, health and things like that. What advice would you give that person that wants to start losing weight?
It's hard to get there, but you got to understand it as a journey. Man, it took you years to get to this spot.
Yes.
It's probably going to take you years to get there. And actually probably won't take as long.
Yeah.
Because once you start figuring out, you know, find people that you trust to help you with your diet, find people that you can go work out with, or a gym that's welcoming. And here's the other thing, too, about this new year, new me stuff, like January. You know, anybody who's in the gym getting after it, I've heard you say this on the show, man, respect to those people who are in there, you know? And you know, I think one of the bigger gyms that's all purple, I'm not going to drop their name because they're not sponsoring you.
That's right. Hell no.
Give them any
no,
here.
no.
But they call themselves a judgment-free zone, you know? And it's like, truly, man, just showing up, being present, and you know, understanding that you're gonna fail.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna get triggered by something in life, because a lot of us use food to heal and mend. And you're gonna order that Papa John's pizza, man. And you're gonna eat the whole thing yourself. Yeah. You know, the question is, after you do that, it's just now what?
Yeah.
It's
now
not
what?
the shame. Don't sit in the shame. Again, like we said, don't sit around. Just do something, but looking at it as a journey, man. Yeah, that's the biggest, I guess, piece of advice I could get, because I can't inspire anybody to be motivated every single day.
Facts. Yes.
I can't. You have to. They say change happens when staying the same hurts more than changing.
Ooh, there it is.
When staying the same hurts more than the change and the pain of actually making yourself a new person. Yeah, that's when you'll change. Unfortunately, present company included. Yeah. That's what it takes. I've seen me do it. Yeah. I've seen me do it.
That's right. And that's what I'm telling you, man, for everybody in the gym, you self-conscious about how you look and all of that, take your ass to the gym. Because individuals who truly understand what the gym means, man, we proud of you for being in there. You motivating for us. Like, if I love seeing a person in there that got a long way to go, Michael. Yep. You know what I'm saying? They come walking through that door, and like you said, they know, we know, you got you a journey ahead of you. You giving me motivation. Yeah, I may be in better shape than you, but I got a goal I'm trying to reach. So seeing you coming, because it's hard. Let me tell you something. It's harder for you to come to the gym than it is for me to come to the gym. You know what I'm saying? You're coming to the gym and you feeling like all eyes is on you. But like I said, man, all the real gym goers, we proud of you for coming in there, because we know you don't have to be. You can go sit at home and sit on your ass. You chose to get up and make a change. So, hey, man, go take your ass to the gym. I'm going to give you what you look like. Get you a bottle of water, you know what I'm saying, some pre-workout, get your ass up in the gym. You know what I mean? Come see John to get you right. One thing I do want to touch on, bro, because it's a big deal and a lot of people in the country, around the world, deal with it. 8 years clean, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that journey. You know what I mean? Was it? Did you take it day by day, or like, because that's a hard hook to, you know, get unhooked from. Yeah, man. Just break down that journey of being 8 years clean.
I think really, you know, whenever we quit something that's not serving us, right? Whatever it is, there's going to be a void, or I call it a black hole that's created by that, right? The funny thing, I'm no astrophysicist. I'm not going to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on you here.
Hey, I'll be watching some of his clips, bro. I'll be looking at I'll be talking about black holes and all kind of shit because of him.
Well, you know, the black hole, right? It's actually mass. It's just squished into this small thing, and so it's like a vortex, right? So if that thing, you lose that, it's going to want to pull something else in. And so how many people, like, you know, you try to quit drinking, or you quit whatever it is, or video games or whatever it is, and then you just go right to something else, because it's like, there's an unmet need that you've got that thing you're pouring it into, and it's about embrace and replace. So
embrace and replace.
Embrace something new to replace that thing. And so that was the thing. At first I was just stone cold sober and pissed off.
Yeah.
I was angry. I was just like, no, because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to lose control of my my temper or my emotions or whatever. I want to be that guy that's sober minded.
Yes.
Because my enemy prowls around like a lion, right? And that, Bible verse, right? That
I got you, baby. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And so at first it was just rage to be, who I was, who I hated, who I had been, who I am, hates who I've been, kind of thing. But then I started to realize, is like, okay, well, then I started to uncover the layers of why I was drinking.
Yes.
And man, when you start to do that deep work, I call it a fearless moral inventory. When you start actually taking inventory of why you do the things you do, then you can start kind of rewiring and reconfiguring and then reverse engineer the future that you want based on the path that is going to get there. It's just like with money, right? Like, well, man, I got to pay off my debts, and I got to save money to get to be financially successful, right? And that was the other thing too, is like, anybody who's trying to quit anything, how much does it cost? Literally money. And that was where it was like, oh, look at the budget. You know, I might have a problem. But consistency, the discipline. I wasn't in AA, I wasn't in a 12-step program, but I've heard people get a lot of success from doing that. Yeah. I did have a few people, that I could talk to about it. My wife was supporting me. We didn't have any alcohol in the house.
That was my next question, bro. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just get it out, and then it's about in those moments when I was weak, it was like, find something different to do. Yeah. Go out for a walk.
Yes.
Or, if playing God of War right now is going to,
that's right.
get a good distraction, get a good healthy distraction. But there's all kinds of tips and tricks out there. But now it's just like, once you get past a few years, it's like the brain actually starts to change too. You know? I think physiologically, your chemistry starts to modify and adapt, and now it's cool. I mean, sometimes people will apologize to me. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm drinking. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna relapse with you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, if it was that easy, I'd still be right. I'd still be going. But the other thing too is, and that's what I will say is, like, it is not something to use as like being proud or more than other people too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do believe sobriety is a superpower. But at the same time, it's like, man, we all have the things that we're working on. Yeah. And so, I got plenty of other things I'm trying to fix right now.
Man, that's right.
Too. You know what I mean?
And that's what, and that basically the last part you just made. I mean, the last part you just said. Yeah. That's what I mean, bro. We all the same, bro. We all got shit. Everybody, every adult, right? Who, even, I don't give a damn if you well off, mom and daddy gave you money, whatever. We all are fixing something on the daily, bro. There's always something that could be done internally that we could be fixing, improving, getting rid of, things of that nature. I just want to applaud you, bro, because 8 years is a hell of a time, bro. That's a long time, bro. You know what I mean? Yep. And let me ask you this: do you think about it daily? Your sobriety, or is it to the point now where now you can just go about your day, you don't even think about how long it's been?
Occasionally, when things get really hard in life, it's one of those things that comes up as an option, right? Like the mind, like I can't help, right? Yeah. Like, ooh, when I used to do that, I could check out, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
sir.
I don't want to feel what I'm feeling right now. That's the thing that never goes away in life. Is that stress is going to happen, and my chiropractor told me like this. He goes, man, your bucket of stress is going to get filled every day. Yeah. How you deal with that can be getting to the gym, or getting outside, getting some sunlight, getting your bare feet on the ground, or it can be, keeping yourself inside, drinking, ordering that pizza, whatever it is, whatever addiction or whatever somebody has. But I would say it just comes in waves, and then I got to remember too, I go, man, there's so many things in my life that have been a result of my sobriety that are good things. So, that outweighs whatever, the temporary benefit of having that 6-pack would be,
I hear that. All right, now, one thing I always like to touch on, because listen, y'all know John out here in these streets. I'm single, but I love couples, Mark. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing people happy, bro. You know what I mean? I never try to coerce none of my friends who are in relationships to join this BS that I'm on, Mark. You know what I mean? Because this is not where I want to be, but this is just where God has brought me. You know, sometimes you're not supposed to question God. Ain't that what the good book say? But one question I want to ask you, bro. Yeah. What does... Because, you know, you spoke about your wife a couple times now and just how she's been there for you. As a man, bro, what does that do, having a partner that is there for you and that's been there for you all this time?
Man, she's saved my life more times than I can count.
Yes, sir.
People say, what would you do without her? I say, I'd be dead.
That's right.
I'd be dead. Hands down. It's not an exaggeration.
Yes, sir.
You know, she has been there with me through the ugliest moments in my life and in our life.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I just am so grateful to God. And what I tell people is I think I know she loves the Lord more than she loves me.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
They say,
and that's supposed to go?
Like, what were you going to say?
Ain't that how it's supposed to go? You're supposed to love the Lord first, your wife or your husband next, then the kids. Ain't that supposed to go?
Yep.
Okay.
You're supposed to love God first, right?
Yeah.
And I tell people, like, you know, I'm just so fortunate that I found her.
Yes.
You know, because it was literally in youth group, man. She was on the stage singing and playing. We're both kind of musicians. I can't sing.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, man, I mean, she's just special, man. And she has been my ride or die truly since the beginning. And it unfortunately now being married for 20 years.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why exactly, but I can tell you that it means so much, man, because you know, I'm just so fortunate for her, man. Yeah. And part of that too, because marriage is work. It's like I've had to. It was like what I learned in our first couple of years, like, oh, she's not going to do all the dishes and the laundry.
Oh, talk about it now, Michael. Oh, now talk about it.
The way I saw my parents' dynamic, right? And I'm not going to spill all their tea on the show or anything, but came from a very traditional background. It was like, you know, if the husband's going to work, the mom's going to stay home. Yeah. And this is what the mom does when she's home. This is what the husband does. And, you know, I brought that all into my, my marriage, man. And, you know, my wife works. She works full time, too. So it's like we have to figure those things out. Yeah. You know?
I hear. See what I'm saying, Mark? That's the type of shit I like to hear. Look, let me tell you something, Mark. One thing you don't know about your boy. I love going to weddings, bro, and I actually listen to the vows, bro. That should be some of the most beautiful shit in the world. Because usually the gentleman starts crying. This is the first time he's really opening up to his woman. It's a good time, man. While I'm sneaking on auntie and the single women at the bar, I'm listening to the vows, bro. The vows be beautiful, bro. And shout out to all the men with good women in their life, bro. Absolutely. Mark, look, brother, we got to get us one like that, brother. You know, that's going to be a ride or die, bro. You know, my problem is they leave soon as shit gets shaky, Michael. You know what I'm saying? Soon as I get to pissing them off, they leave. And I be like, why you going to leave, baby? Let's go through some shit. Because, Mark, you deal with John, you going to go through some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put you through some shit. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And God damn it. Now, one thing I want to touch on before we get up out of here, you discussed this earlier. Why you only go by Michael and not Mike?
Yeah.
Break that down for us, please.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I went by Mike. You know, my mom named me Michael. We'll get back to that here shortly. But, you know, I went by Mike because I just thought it sounded cool.
Yes.
And, you know, growing up in my teen years is like, I'm Mike, right? You know, it's just a cool name.
It do sound cool.
It is. That's why I think a lot of Michaels use it, you know? And, you know, one day I'm going through like some type of early midlife crisis. Maybe it was midlife crisis number 1 of 4.
Come on, what'd you say, 1 of 4?
Yeah, 1 of 4, man. I'm probably on my. If you're not in one now, you're on your way into one. That's what they say about storms, right?
Yeah.
And man, I was talking to my mom, and I said, "Hey, Mom, why did you name me Michael? I had just gotten these business cards, and for whatever reason, I'm looking at my business cards. This is in California.
Okay.
This is Mike Reisinger, and I'm like, and I called my mom up one day, and I was like, "Hey, why did you name me Michael?" She goes, "Because you're my angel. You're my firstborn. Mm-hmm. I named you after the Archangel Michael, right?" And so I start going down the rabbit hole of who Michael is, what he represents. And it's like, oh, he's a protector. Yes. Oh, he's the right hand of God. Oh, here's what his name means. It means who is like God, which is a rhetorical question. Yes. It doesn't mean he's God, but it's just to say like there's no one like God, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you start going down that rabbit hole, you figure out the angels, that EL at the end. Even the bad ones, right? You got Azrael, Azazel. Yes. In the Bible, if you read the book of Enoch, you got all the basically the angels that created the Nephilim in Genesis 6, all this. That El in Hebrew, it's might, power, and strength. I think it is. It's godlike, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I basically, Michael, that part is like the strength in my name, the end. It's almost like Abram becomes Abraham.
Right.
Sarai becomes Sarah, There's these moments in the Bible where God gives people a new name. And I basically, in that conversation with my mom, I was like, man, I've grown to be a protector. Man, I care about what's good, right, and true. Man, I'm intense, Yeah. Man, I want people to have a voice that are afraid to speak. Maybe we'll talk about toxic humility a bit.
Hold on, Michael, don't give him the damn show. That was next, brother.
Hey,
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry,
go ahead.
bro. I know. I'm a walking spoiler alert.
That's right. Go ahead.
But man, it was almost like an outcry on my soul to say like, hey, and I walked into my boss's office. His name was Micah. Another biblical name. And I said, hey, man, I know I just got these business cards, but can I get them? I told him the whole story. He goes, submit the order today, dude. Yeah. And so that's what it's been every time. And so I tell people, man, if you call me Mike, you're chopping off that part, that power in my name, And I've realized this too, after getting to know people, like, if I can't get your name right, that's my problem. Everybody's got something,
same way.
And there's people that say, oh, John, Jonathan, I don't care. But it's like, if you say it's John, I'm going to call you John. If I get it wrong, that's my fault.
I agree.
And man, dude, it's just like ones who want to be called Mike because Michael was what their mom called them when they were in trouble.
Yeah.
And so I respect that too. Yeah. But,
sound about right, goddammit.
I told Gabriel on the podcast too. I said, you know who Gabriel is? Is the left hand of God.
Yeah. well, we in here. Look, Mark, we in here. We talking about biblical names. Jonathan is a biblical name. You know what I'm saying? If you research the name, it means gift of God. You know what I mean? I'm a gift, and I have a gift. You know what I mean?
You absolutely are.
Mark, was that in the Bible? Is Mark in the Bible? I think the hell is it really?
One of the
Mark,
books in the Bible.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah.
There you go, Esai. Your name not in the Bible. It's okay.
It is.
Is it really?
I don't know about the spelling.
But Esai is in the Bible. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. I'm trying to talk shit on my dog, bro. My bad. Hey, Esai, bro, you know your name in the Bible, bro? He ain't know that. He over there lying. Goddamn. That motherfucker did not know that. Now, look. Let's talk about this real quick. Toxic humility. Because it was in my notes, and he spoiled it. It was okay, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just expound on toxic humility. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, man. So, it's basically based off of Voice of the Heart by Chip Dodd, where he talks about toxic shame and how he says there's good shame and then there's toxic shame. And for me, toxic humility, so what a lot of people say humility is actually like discounting who they are.
Yes.
Putting themselves in the background, giving themselves a back seat because who are they to do what it is God's called them to do, right? I have had to deconstruct my own, I call it toxic humility, which has made me, like, when I wanted to make myself small. Like, I'm 5'7", so I'm a short guy, but I don't have a small personality.
No, absolutely
I don't have a small mission in life, right? Yeah. And so whenever I do that, whenever I keep my mouth shut, when I know I should say the right thing, when I have done my diligence, I've listened, and I should speak up, and I don't, that's taken me out.
I hear that. Yes, sir.
And that's toxic because what that does is, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there that they've been wanting to do their life's work or they want to do the thing, but they're scared to, or there's plenty of good, solid reasons why they can't do it now. So they say, I'm never going to do it.
Right.
And so it's toxic. And I feel like, too, like when you see somebody like you or me, we're like proud of what we do and who we are. And like your first episode, my name is John and I have a gift. I have a gift.
Y'all go check that out.
Just leading with that confidence. That to some people, they go, he's not a humble person.
Facts.
It's like, wait a minute. He's talking about where his strength is.
Yes.
Don't take something away from him because you're intimidated by it or it scares you. And sometimes, I've talked about this too, like sometimes criticism comes from insecurity.
Yes, sir. I feel that way wholeheartedly, Mike. I swear I do.
Bro.
I've always felt that way because I've always been the loud one. I've always been, that's just my personality, man. It's like, now I'm at this point where I'm grown. It's like, wait a minute. Y'all was trying to suppress that the whole time?
Sit down, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing.
Come on, man.
Listen.
Yeah.
Do the math problem.
Yeah.
Right?
The whole while, people paying millions and billions of dollars for people who can talk. Like, and look, just on a smaller scale, like, I could have been on, which I still could, be on the news, radio, something like that. But growing through school, I had teachers, adults, other students, insecure about my light, that I'm confident in me, that I can come in the room and I'm talking to everybody. You can't do that. Don't try to, make me feel away, because when I step in the room, I'm here to make people feel good. I feel good. So because you play the corner and don't want to, you incognito, that's you. You know what I mean? That's not me. That's not who I am. And I think you said it on To Bring About. I am an extrovert at home. Or no, what is introvert at home? When I lead a podcast and everything, man, Eastside never tell you, I'm to myself. You know what I mean? I'm unbothered. You know what I mean? And once I make it home, you rarely can get me to come back out the house. But when I'm out in public, it's like this God's work, man. My light shine. You know what I mean? I can't help it. You know what I mean? I'll speak to random people. I'm in Walmart. Hey, how you doing, man? I work downtown. I see men walking past in their suits and everything. I'm the one to be like, man, looking good today, brother.
You get to know the janitor?
Yeah.
You know,
every single time.
I know every janitor's name that I've worked with.
Yes.
In the building
Everyone.
In the last 10 years.
Yes.
And what I said on TBAP was, I'm an ambivert.
That's what you said.
It's a switch.
It's
go,
a switch.
Oh, yeah, hey, my name's Michael. Nice to meet you, all this. And then when I'm at home, I got to, like after this today, no offense to you, I'm gonna read a book. I'm going to recharge. I'm going to go home and I'm going to tell the kids, I don't want to talk to anybody right
I'll let you in a minute.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, it's inputs and outputs. But, that too, the toxic humility thing, that comes into my controversial take on empowerment as well, where I don't feel like people have the power to give other people power. Mm-hmm. Power only comes from, God. Yeah. And so I feel like that's another thing too. It's like, man, I can equip people, but the power's in them. Like we all come up, our default setting is power.
Mm-hmm. It's all in. Yes, sir.
People try to beat that out of other people, but, anyway.
Now, Mark, dig this, brother. You ready for this, bro? Because we can't leave without, discussing a little, football. We in Kansas City, you know what I mean? Who you got, brother? Who you got? You got a command. Oh, damn. And this is your division too. So this hurts. You got Washington and Philly. And then you got Buffalo and KC. Pick between Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got?
I got Eagles.
Eagles, me too.
Yeah, I got Eagles for sure.
Michael, who you got? You football fan?
Yeah, man, Chiefs. I know you don't like it.
Listen, but no, listen. Now, Michael, listen. I got the Chiefs winning too. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to win this game. And I've said on multiple occasions, Mark, I don't trust nobody against the Chiefs. Yeah. So even though I don't think they're going to three-peat, I wouldn't be shocked because literally the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they have that Belichick, Brady, Patriots aura now where it's teams that could beat them, but the moment too big. How many times have we see Brady come back? And it was like, damn, y'all just couldn't kick a field goal? That aura now is like, now people can't even believe they're going to beat the Chiefs. You got motherfuckers missing 20-yard extra points and shit like that.
They talked about that. Do you believe that's a thing where, like, they actually get this crippling kind of doubt or this feeling like, why are we even doing this on the field anymore?
That's we all former athletes. It's certain dudes who just got that where you don't even think in your mind that you can fuck with him. You just like, man, come on, bro. That's him. He gonna do. You know what I mean? And do you have those rare people who like, no, fuck him. I'll do this too. But I truly believe they have their aura now where teams, you got coordinators who go completely against their game plan when they see the Chiefs. They want their quarterback to get out. I guarantee you, Josh Allen finna throw the fucking ball 50 times tomorrow. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, he do that anyway with his. You know how many flags finna get called tomorrow, Mark? All these damn flags for, roughing the passer. Josh Allen leads the league in roughing the passer calls. Everybody think it's Mahomes.
A thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
.936 leads the lead.
And he's the most aggressive quarterback in the league. He tries to run people over, all kind of shit, bro. Somebody pop his tall ass. You know what I'm saying? Somebody hit his ass up. Goddamn. But now you got Chiefs over the Bills. Who you got? Eagles versus Commanders.
Oh, man. The Commanders
they look good.
Completely surprised, I think, me and everybody in the world
definitely shocked
last
me.
week. I mean, that was like, I can't explain what that was like. We were at Dave & Buster's for a giant work party. Yeah. They had it on all big screens, and there's just like people wearing their Chiefs jerseys just slack-jawed and stupefied. Like, can you believe this is happening?
Detroit, what the hell, bro? What the hell happened, dog?
In Detroit.
What the hell?
In Detroit.
I'm surprised they ain't turned the whole building down. You know how them Detroit motherfuckers be, Mark?
I think really this is where I'm not qualified.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, bro.
Say who's going to win with the Commanders and Eagles, but I don't want to see Chiefs and Eagles again in a Super Bowl.
I really don't either. But I think that's what the fuck I'm gonna see.
If the Bills beat the Chiefs tomorrow, then hey, that's what happens, man.
Yeah. Now listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this is gonna come out after the game is over anyway. You know what I mean? I think the Chiefs are gonna win, but listen to me, football gods. You know, I work in an office with a bunch of Chiefs fans. If you could, just this one time, just let me be happy on Monday. Just let me go in there and just be like, oh, heck, because I'm a look, Mark. I'm going to make them feel it. I'm going to walk in. Why the long faces, fellas? You know, did somebody lose last night? You know, because I deal with a lot of shit, Michael. You know what I'm saying? Whole lot of hate, you know, because I'm from St. Louis, the opposite side of the state. I deal with a whole lot of hate here in KC, a lot of shit talking, even though, you feel what I'm saying, for the state of Missouri, St. Louis has the top public and private schools in the state of, Missouri. You know, but a lot of people don't know that. They don't do the work. Mark and Eastside, stay out of this. Y'all from Kansas. It has nothing to do with y'all. I'm sure Johnson County has way better schools than what we have in St. Louis County. I mean, good God, you know what I mean? For shit show. Let me get my picks. I got, unfortunately, I got the fucking Eagles over the Commanders. And I got the Chiefs over the Bills for another damn showdown with the Chiefs and goddamn Philly that I don't want to see. Because I believe if the Chiefs make it, I think they're going to win it, Mark. Am I wrong in that assumption, bro? If they make it to the big dance, I think they're going to do it.
I think it'll be a much different game than the Super Bowl last time.
For shit show. For shit show.
With Saquon, it's a whole different game.
Whole different ball game, bro. Yeah. And that's why I thought with Lamar and fucking Henry, I'm thinking run the fucking ball.
Yeah, they didn't.
And they never do, bro. And it pisses me off because Lamar, you keep on getting these MVPs and you want to go out there and your offensive coordinator come in. We gonna throw the ball. Why? You got the biggest back in the league. Run the fucking. But let me not get into that. You know what I'm saying? Because Mark, our team's out of it. Hey, we still on football. Y'all finally got rid of y'all coach. Who y'all think y'all gonna hire, bro? He's the Cowboys fan, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Don't.
My father-in-law is
be easy on him.
Fan.
We just, I was reading, we hired our offensive coordinator or something. As
the head coach?
Yeah, it was a really stupid move. Like we could have got Deion Sanders.
Jerry.
They just wanted another puppet. They didn't want anybody that could make changes.
What the fuck? Yeah. I didn't even know y'all did that, bro.
I literally saw that earlier today, so I was like, man, fuck all this.
Jerry, look, Jerry, that is a lifelong Cowboys fan. You getting him up to that point where he finna, burn the jersey. You one of those?
I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Right. I ain't know if he's one of them type of fans.
Just wait till he dies now.
I guess, bro. Hey, look, let me tell you, because look, I'm fed up. I'm a Colts fan. I'm done with our owner too. Ursay. What the hell we got going on? We did fire our defensive coordinator. He had to go, bro. He had to go. During his tenure, bro, we were the worst defense in football during his tenure. Get your ass on up out of there. Goddamn me. I'm tired of that shit. Listen, bro. Mark, how we doing, bro? I always got to check in with my dog, bro. How we doing? Oh, shit. Goddamn it. Now, listen. With everything. Oh, and one thing I wanted to talk to you about, bro. You had a guest on your podcast. Was it Gangsta Kitchen Cooking?
Sheila Johnson from Gangsta Goodies Kitchen. She's
Sheila,
going live
ma'am,
on,
I need you.
On Tuesday.
On Tuesday. I'm going to check in. I need her on the platform.
Has to happen.
I got to get her on the platform.
Dude, that is one of my favorite interviews that I have ever done.
Yes.
She is, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff that, you don't get to hear her talk about on her show. But yeah, she has 15 to 20 minute, cooking shows.
Yes.
She talks to local politicians, leaders, nonprofits. She's amazing, man. I'm so fortunate to So have
Tuesday.
It drops Tuesday. That episode comes out with Sheila Johnson. Yeah. And you should absolutely have her. Sheila, get on I-70.
Sheila, don't even worry about it. That DM gonna come as soon as I sit down in my chair at the crib. That DM gonna come straight through.
She's incredible, man.
Oh,
she's incredible.
First of all, bro, I thought you was leaving. I could have asked you way more questions, brother. I know you was over there working. Come here, bro. I got a question for you real quick before you dip. Because if this was good, you could have chimed in on this. Because you're an expert on this podcast here in the city, right? What are your thoughts on the community that is developing? Go ahead, handle your business, bro. No, yeah, handle your business, bro. You the editor. You cut that shit out if you need to. You know what I'm saying?
It's a tough job, man.
But hey, man, I feel for my dog. That is one of the hardest working motherfuckers in the podcast industry.
For sure.
That motherfucker edit. How many podcasts we got now, Mark? 5, back to 5. He edits all the podcasts.
Oh.
He drops all the clips y'all see on Instagram, and he
what a savage.
And he won't help, but the motherfucker don't want no help, Mark. Look, that's your cousin. You know, he won't help, but he don't want help. You know how many times I ask? He said, "Hey, Esai, bro, show me how to do it, and I help." The motherfucker never shows me how to help him.
That type of trust has to be earned, man. And
yes, sir.
I could see why he would be.
Yes,
I mean,
because this is his baby.
Closed fist with that stuff, right?
Yeah. NSPN is his baby. Like he want to make sure it look right, which is why he don't want my help. When all he gotta do is fucking show me how to do it, and I help him. Goddamn. But fuck it, you know what I mean? And then my dog, you know, I said Mark don't do shit, but that's my dog, bro. Mark do plenty, bro. Like, even if y'all a fan of the show, y'all know Mark, you know, he'll give me little tidbits on just little tips in the middle of it, you know, but it's always with an insult too, though. You know, Mark is a different creature. Mark keeps me humble. That's what he do. You know what I'm saying? Mark don't let me get the big head. Mark will never allow, I don't give a fuck how many subscribers or followers I get. Mark gonna always remind me when I walk past his truck, he gonna hit the lock button. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Michael, you do it every time, bro. I walk past his truck as I'm entering the building. Mark already been here setting it up, y'all. So when y'all see me sit down, me and my guest, that's Mark. Mark is the first one in the building because Esai is off acting like he is cold at basketball, beating up on people at a YMCA league. We've confirmed it now, Mark. It's a YMCA league. Oh, shit. Esai's playing basketball on Saturday. I'm coming from work.
He's doing great.
Yeah, Mark, the first one here, he getting all this shit set up, man. Shout out my dog, Mark, man. I wouldn't be able to do none of this shit without him. Because you speak about team and, you know, having people, you know, with you and all of that. Oh, you good? You ready? Okay, then we're going to get up out of here, baby.
Yep.
The podcast scene here in KC, being that you have a podcast company, the best in the Midwest, I might add. You know, we coming for the big shit with all this shit going on in Hollywood. What are your thoughts on the community of podcasters here in KC? And you be honest, damn it.
I think it's just now starting to build.
Yes.
Because
you've been in it for a while now.
Yeah, and like we've talked about it before.
Yes.
We've seen tons of podcasts come and go.
Plenty, most. Goddamn it.
I think we're finally getting to the point where there's like a solid 5 consistent, at least 5. There's probably way more.
Yeah.
But as long as everybody's staying consistent and like doing what we're doing here, working together, you know, we've reached out to some podcasts in the city that ghosted us.
And I would
left us on red, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so let me get that.
Go ahead.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I told y'all I was done being humble in 2025. Okay, I will never bring y'all name up. Okay, the podcast that he talk about, I will never bring y'all name up because you motherfuckers stop doing episodes any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? See, look how calm work. You know what I'm saying? Now, because Michael, I was new in the game. And early on, bro, we was reaching out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Established podcasters. Oh, man, I had so many people who just did me dirty, bro, left me on red, never responded, none of that. And I've been paying y'all ass back for 90. What episode we on now, Mark? 91 or 92? I've been paying y'all ass back for 91 weeks, goddamn me.
That's right.
Consistent. Hey, man, ain't no harm, no foul. I just know where we at. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was the big dogs at one point. Goddamn me. Y'all thought that spot was solidified. Hell no. This shit come and go. And really, before we get up out of here, Michael, you said something that I want to end with. Man, we all different.
Yep.
You're not going to get what you get from I-70. What you get from my dog Michael, or to Bring About, or to none of the podcasts under, you know, the NSPN umbrella and the other podcasts in KC. We all different. I do shit that Michael don't do. He do shit better than me that I don't do. But I can learn from Michael. I can take stuff from what he does on both of his platforms, all his platforms, and implement it into what I do and how I do it. I ain't got a copycat, but it's a copycat business that we in. If somebody doing something well, hey, man, let me implement that in my own way. So, and that's what I aim to do, and that's what I've been doing. So, we're going to end it on that. All you punk-ass podcasters out there that didn't want to get down with the boy, yeah, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to me. Now, I'm the boy. Hey, boy, don't get me going up in here. Okay, Mark, let's get the hell up out of here because Esai has sparked something in me. He likes to, he does this. You know what I'm saying? He get me riled up, and then I'm like a damn pit bull in the yard, you know what I'm saying, waiting for the gate to get let open.
Yeah.
Now, look, Michael, please give them all your socials. Give them anything that's coming up so where they can follow the movement and stay tapped into what you got going on.
Yeah, so we are active on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, pretty much at KCBC913. And then we podcast out to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. So those are like the 6 ways that you can engage with us.
Yes.
Again, it costs you nothing. Take the thumb, move it a half an inch.
Damn it!
Click the button.
It's free.
Click the bell. It's easy to do. And the other thing, too, is the reviews. The reviews help us get to the top of the search algorithm. Please recognize that those little tiny actions, they help us. There's not a NSPN podcast I'm not subscribed to.
Yes, right.
Right? Like, if there's a way to review, I'm going to review.
Yes,
like,
sir.
I just find a way. We all need to do that because there is enough for all of us.
Yes.
So, abundance mindset.
Yes, sir. And I like that. I promise y'all we're going to end, but Michael keep bringing up shit that's
sorry,
just...
I know.
No, it's cool, bro.
Be a good guest.
Because that's what this is about, bro. That's why I knew this podcast was going to be like this episode.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't want the motherfucking end. So, but listen, like bro just said, it's free, it's easy, it's simple. Because I have a podcast now, it's very rare that I watch something and I don't hit the like button. Yep. It's very rare now because I know that it's needed. It's very rare that I don't leave a comment, laughing emojis, whatever, because it's needed. It's necessary because it helps their platform. That one little like could be the one that separates that person from being recognized, or that one share, and it's fucking free. God damn it. So when you don't do it, it's like, then why you not doing it? You know what I mean?
Withholding love? That's terrible.
Why you withholding love, baby? Then y'all motherfuckers be like, and I support what you got going on. Well, motherfucking like, subscribe, and share then, please. You know what I'm saying? But, okay, now that I got that off my chest, I blame Esai for the rant that I went on earlier. I blame him. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Mark, you good, bro? You know what I'm saying? We finna get up out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is the I-70 Podcast. It's your boy, John. Make sure you follow us on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? We rocking and rolling. It's 2025. Y'all see how I did in January. Nothing but good episodes. We're going to keep this ball rolling, keep the momentum rolling. Make sure you go on over to all the platforms my guys provided. The 6, where you can go support what he got going on. And mess with us, man, because, you know, we on the run. We roll running. You know, this KC podcast scene is taking off. We want to thank all our subscribers, everybody who's been supporting, all the followers, everybody who's ever shared, liked, comment on anything we got going on. It's much needed and appreciated. It's the I-70 Podcast, man. My guy Michael in the building, man. Episode 91, and we out.